Has the Doctor actually turned evil, or is this all just a cunning ploy? Well, apparently not even Colin Baker knows, and therein lies the problem. Welcome to the Time Treadmill. I'm Ron, and these are my sweaty thoughts about Doctor Who. The fundamental problem with the Trial of a Time Lord is laid bare right here in this middle story. And to understand it, you have to understand the structure of the entire season. You see, the Trial of a Time Lord is presented as a single 14-part story, but that is not what it is. It is 3 individual adventures, each written by a different author. None of them have anything to do with each other, and then there's a framing sequence of the trial, plus the big finale at the end to tie everything together and make coherent sense of it. All of that is fair enough if each of the authors were given bullet points to hit to drive towards the conclusion and to make some sort of shocking reveal. But that's not what happened. The first story, The Mysterious Planet, was written by legendary Doctor Who writer Robert Holmes. He is, for my money, the single greatest writer in the show's history. I would place him above Terrance Dicks. And he had taken some long absence for the show before coming back the previous season. He was actually invited to return and write The Five Doctors, the 20th anniversary special. He declined to do that, but he did come back and write several more stories, and that includes the framing for this entire season. He wrote the first story, Mysterious Planet, and he was also supposed to write the final 2 episodes of this season that would tie everything up and explain everything that's really going on. The problem being that he was also very, very ill at the time. He completed work on Mysterious Planet without a problem, but as he began working on the final 2 episodes of the sequence, he became increasingly ill, to the point where, unfortunately, he passed away. And it was during the production of this story that news of his passing hit the Doctor Who team. And it's not an understatement to say that it devastated everyone. Now, most of that was just the purely practical human reaction of losing someone that everyone so much admired and enjoyed. But there was also a very practical problem with that. He had not finished writing the season finale, and nobody knew where he was driving towards. He'd written most of the 13th episode, but had not even begun on the 14th episode. And worse than that, during the production of Mind Warp, Colin Baker was confused as to what exactly was going on. He very legitimately asked the director and the writer whether he was actually turned evil at this point in the story, or whether he was playing at some longer scheme, or whether there was some manipulation in the Matrix databank. All of those things would impact how he portrayed these scenes. But unfortunately, when he asked the director and the writer, they said, well, I don't know, talk to the script editor. So he went to Eric Saward, and Eric Saward said, I don't know, talk to the producer. And so he went to John Nathan Turner, and John Nathan Turner said, I don't know, talk to the writer. And round it went. And so literally nobody on the set for this story actually understood what was really ultimately supposed to be going on here. And that is a huge problem, and it ran into an even larger problem, which I'll get to in a couple of days when I get to the final 2 episodes of this season. But suffice to say that despite the fact that this story is written by the same person who wrote Vengeance on Varos, and despite the fact that it features the return of Syl, who I love as a nemesis, and despite the fact that this story features Brian Blessed chewing up scenery left and right, making it a thoroughly enjoyable story to watch, the fact remains that the plot itself makes no sense. And one really has to wonder how much sense it could have made if Robert Holmes had been able to finish the job and clarify all of the story beats and what the whole thing was driving towards. Instead, we got this. And so, tomorrow I'll finish the second half of this part of the Trial of a Time Lord and say goodbye to Perry, and by extension, get prepared to say hello to Mel. I'll see you tomorrow.